Not really. All right, so 3, 5, and 3, 8 all have to do with sets. So before we can get into really doing notes, we got to define a couple of things. I got to give you some words that we're going to be using so you understand what it is we're talking about. So the first thing I want to define is, what is a set? A set is a list of elements. Now I call them elements because sometimes they're numbers, sometimes they're letters, they can be months, they can be colors, they can be absolutely anything. So we call them elements.
Yeah, I thought that wasn't right because I thought this was science.
All right, so we have what we call a subset. A subset is every possible combination of the elements in the set. The next one I want to define for you is universal set. The universal set is the largest set containing all of the elements. So I had a couple people ask me for an example of a universal set the other day. I said a universal set could be all 12 of the months, right? Because it contains all of them. And the last one I want to define right now before I do a couple examples is the complement of a set. The complement of the set is the set of unwanted elements. Now, complement has special notation for it. Anytime you need the complement of a set, we use what we call prime, which is a little hyphen or dash right at the top of the letter. So if I wanted the complement of A, I would have A with a little dash up here. That means complement. All right, so I want to do a couple examples before I get you some more vocabulary. So here is example number 1 today. And this is going to cover your 20 through 24 on the first page. List all subsets of A, B, C. All right, so the little squiggle bracket things at the end, if you can't draw that, that's fine. You can use parentheses, you can use brackets, whatever works for you. All right? I just want you to see the correct notation that you're going to see in the book, okay? All right, so when we talk about listing all the subsets, see, I was reading your minds. We can list them all individually. So I can have a subset of just A. I can have a subset of just B. I can have a subset of just C. Or I can have a subset of 2 of the letters together. So A and B. I could have A and C. I could have B and C.
Did you have B and A or no?
Well, we already have A and B, so it really doesn't matter what order they're in as long as we have them all. You know what I mean? And then we can also have, since we've had them individually, we've had them in 2s, we can have all of them together. So A, B, C, and if I can have all of them, I can also have none of them, which is our empty set. Yeah, good. So do we have any question on how to find the different subsets? We're all okay with that? We understand that? First 3 questions, super easy. We're all good? All right. Example number 2 then, on that same page. Let's cover the last couple questions. This will be, 26 and 28. Suppose the universal set is 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, and 12. And A is 1, 5, 10, and 12. Find A prime. Suppose U, the universal set, U, okay? And we have all these elements in U, and I tell you that A is 1, 5, 10, and 12. A prime is all the stuff that wasn't included here. So, for example, we included 1 was in A, so I'm going to cross those out. 5 was in A, 10 was in A, and 12 was in A. So my A prime are the unwanted elements from A, which are 3 and 7, exactly. Let's do one more just like this. I'm going to leave it underneath the same example, though. Let's say you're, excuse me? Kind of draw a line. We're going to do another same example. I'm going to say that U is 1, 2, 3, 5, 12, and 17. And I tell you that B is 1, 3, and 5. Find B prime. All right, so again, when we say prime, that's the complement, right? The complement, so anything that's not included from B. So what numbers are that? Is that? Yes, so if it's included in B, then we don't want it in B prime, right? So what numbers are not included in B? 2, 12, and 17. Good, 2, 12, and 17. That's perfect. Does anybody have a question at all? All right, so that's the first page. That was 3.5. We're going to go to 3.8 now and go to the second page. Okay? So I have a couple vocabulary words I want to kind of talk about real quick. All right, so here we go. Excuse me. Let's go with the word union. Union contains all elements from 2 or more sets. So union has special notation. A union, which we've already used before, is just a U, like that. Where do we use that? Yes, interval notation for or. Very good. Which means we're putting them all together, right? Okay. The next one is intersection. An intersection is the elements in common, I think is how I want to say it to you guys, in common between 2 or more sets. So when I talk about intersections, its notation is an upside down U. That means intersection. Let's talk about disjoint. Disjoint sets are sets with nothing in common. And the last vocab word I just want to touch on, even though we've talked about it, is the empty set. The empty set contains no elements. So the notation for empty set, we said we can have it in a bracket, a circle with a line through it. The other way you can also write an empty set is you can just do the brackets with nothing on the inside. That also means empty set. Either one is okay.
Well, you said I can just use parentheses for now?
Yes, absolutely you can.
You did a lot of vocabulary for me.
I did, didn't I? Oh, imagine that. All right, so here we go to example number 3. For example number 3, this is what you're looking at for 10 through 20 on the second page. If, or let, we'll say let A be the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and B be the set 4, 5, 6, and 7, find A union B. So this means that you're putting them all together. So we're going to write a set with all of them together. So we need all of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 and 5 from B are already there, so I need 6 and 7. The union is all of them all put together. What if I gave you this, though? What if I asked you to find A, whoops, that's not an A. Yeah. A intersect B. Yes, it's 4 and 5, right? It's the ones that are in common in both. All right, let's try another example similar to this one. How are we doing? Any questions?
I have one question to say. How many do you think examples?
I probably want to do 3 more.
Okay. Thanks.
Huh? All right, let's go with example number 4. Let's. Let's go with C, B, even whole numbers less than 9. And I'm going to say D is how about whole numbers less than 5. All right. And then we are going to find C union D. So the first thing I'm going to recommend, in your book, it does this on a couple of problems, right? Where it writes it like this. What I'm going to recommend is that you write out what that means. So for example, when I said even whole numbers less than 9, remember whole numbers are your counting numbers, right? And so I need the ones less than 9 and that are even. So those are the numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8, right? For D, it's whole numbers less than 5. Again, they're your counting numbers, and they're less than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I include 5? No, it says less than 5, right? Okay. So now if I'm doing the union of both of them, that is all of the elements all together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. Very good. What about if I said C intersected with D? Good. 2 and 4. Absolutely. So we got 2 and 4 from, let me see. We have 2 in both of them, and we have 4 in both of them. They're the ones that are in common. Any questions? Doing okay? All right. Let's go to example number 5 then. Example 5. Make a Venn diagram to represent the union and intersection. So let's say I have A is let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. We're going to say B is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, now I know you guys have done a Venn diagram before, right? If we have 2 sets, that means we have 2 circles. Your circles need to overlap. If this first circle represents set A, and this second circle, very uneven with the other one, represents set B, the in between is the overlap. So we're going to start by listing those in the middle. What numbers are in both A and B? 2, 4, and 10. All right, so 2, I cross those out so I have them, 4 and 10. So then in A, not part of the overlap, in this section is the rest of the numbers, which are 1 and 3. In set B, not part of the overlap, are the numbers 6 and 8. Exactly. Good. All right, last example. If you guys are good, we're doing great. Okay, last one. Yes, these are 22 through 26, sorry. Sample 6, 22 through 26. Make a Venn diagram. If set A is A, L, G, E, B, and R, set B is G, E, O, M, T, R, and Y. Got to leave a few letters out, but. And C, we're going to say is M, A, T, H. How many sets do I have this time? 3. So we have to do a Venn diagram with all 3. We need 3 circles. There are 3 sets. So you have 2 circles like normal. And then your third circle goes on the bottom. So this section right here is anything that's in common in all 3 of them. All right, so first I'm going to say that this circle is for set A, this circle is for set B, and this bottom circle is for set C.
Wait, what was doing right now? That was one of our vocabulary. Because I remember doing the definition of that.
All right, so start with the very center. Is there anything that's in common in all 3 sets? No? So we have nothing in common, so nothing's going to go on this inside piece right here. Nope, just leave it empty. In a Venn diagram, you just leave it empty. So then we're going to do the intersection between A and B, which is going to be this section right here. So we have E in both, right? So I'm going to put an E in here and cross it off my list up here. I have R that's in both of them, so I'm going to put an R in here. Is there anything else in common? G, yes, G is in both of them. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to do the intersection between B and C. What's in common here? T and M. Very good. M and T, and I'm going to cross those off. This is the intersection between which two sets? A and C. Is there anything in common in A and C? A. Very good. And I'm going to cross that off. Now, let's go back up to set A. I've already crossed off the A and the G, E, and R because they're in here. So in this section is everything that's still left. L and C. Very good. For set B, what goes in this section? O and Y. Awesome. And what goes down here? Perfect. Yep, H gets its own house. I like that. All right, so do we have any questions? You will notice that for set C, if you look at this circle, all 4 letters are there, right? If you look in this circle, all 6 letters are there. And in this circle, all of those letters are there. Okay, do we have any questions? All right, so your homework today again, page 197, you're doing 20 through 28. That's the first little part where you're doing subsets and complement. And then the second page, the 218, that's where you're doing union, intersection, and Venn diagram. Huh? It sure is. Yep, I will do that.
And then when you get a chance, can you do the vocabulary?
Yep.